Alright, welcome to part 2 of the underrated Green Day songs video. Now if you recall, I made part 1 a couple months ago. I believe it was around January, and I will link that in the description below so you can watch it if you haven't already. This video covers more of Green Day's hidden gems that didn't get as much attention as the other hits, but deserves every bit of it, okay? So what I'm gonna do is show you 6 more underrated songs that you might end up liking, and you might even add these to your playlists if you haven't already. So, with that being said, let's get right to it, and the first song I will mention is this. Jar. Now, Billy Joe usually handles the majority of Green Day's songwriting, but this song I had just mentioned is actually a Mike special. This was written for his childhood friend that died at the age of 19 after a car accident. So, you may be wondering what Jar means. Well, the J-A-R, they stand for Jason Andrew Relvo, and this was used in the Angus movie from 1995. So it follows basically the typical Green Day style of music and chord progression. So if you're like, let's say you're listening to Scattered or Basket Case, you can kind of see the similarities here, but the bass line is especially worth noting in this song. Mike Dirnt's bass skills shine in this song, mostly in the intro and outro. So if you're like, let's say you're a fan of the Longview song from the Dookie album, you will definitely find this song appealing because the bass line is an absolute, that is the one that is worth mentioning in this song. So Billy's vocals are great as always in this song, and if you're a Longview fan in particular, you will find this song appealing. So that is from the International Super Hits album, and definitely give it a listen, alright? So, let's go ahead and get right to the second song, and that is Aminius Sleepus. Now, this is from Dookie. Dookie is an album that is full of bangers, like, let's see, we got Basket Case, Welcome to Paradise, Longview, Having a Blast, Pulling Teeth, etc. But this song, Aminius Sleepus, which is the 12th track of Dookie, it comes directly after Coming Clean, and it unfortunately is not as well known as the others, but it is fast-paced and packed with epic instrumentals, along with Billy's epic vocals as well. So, this song, in terms of the meaning of this song, it can apply to many people, as the friends could change into someone they don't recognize anymore. So, it could be like, let's see, people growing up and changing, and people just drifting apart, or people going down a dark path, for example, and you just don't recognize that person who used to be close to you. So, you will know what I mean when you hear the chorus of this song. Just look at the lyrics and you should be able to see why, alright? Now, one of the merits of this song, it's not too long, which definitely doesn't make it feel dragged out, and it's also not too short that it's not enjoyable to listen to. So, that definitely does add to the merits of this song. And the guitar work is not really too difficult. If you're a guitar player, it's pretty easy to play, but it is still a great and catchy riff as well. And the bass line is mostly audible in the middle of the song. So definitely Aminius Sleepus is a worthwhile listen, even if it might not get as much attention as the other super hits from the Dookie album, because Dookie is full of them, like When I Come Around, Basket Case, so they can definitely overshadow a lot of the other hidden gems here. Alright, so what we have next is Forever Now, and this is from the Revolution Radio album, which was released in 2016. Now this song is quite long, so that's why this song the length of the song can be contributing to why it is underrated, because many people might not want to listen to it and just skip over to the shorter songs. But this is the penultimate song in the album, so it comes right before the album closer, Ordinary World, and this song masterfully takes in a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions from the listener, and also satisfyingly connects it to Somewhere Now, which is the album's opener. So this makes it abundantly clear to the listeners that the album has come full circle. Now where this song shines is definitely the instrumentals, as the song goes from fast-paced, then slow-paced, and back to fast, and also it's very similar to Jesus of Suburbia or even Homecoming. So what they've been really good at when they're making long songs like these, they don't make it awkwardly paced, so it doesn't feel too long that it gets boring or something like that, okay? So definitely give this song a listen, and it just like a similar type of thing is in Black Sabbath's 13 album, which I'll make a video about in a future date, where it massively wraps up the album full circle. Like, it refers to it directly, refers to the opening song directly as well. And let's go ahead and get right to the next one. Okay, so Forever Now from Revolution Radio, the penultimate song. And now let's move ahead to Christy Road from Kerplunk. Now this is an amazing song that is off their second album, okay? So while the sound quality is a little questionable, that doesn't take away from the fact that this song is an absolute banger, okay? So this is lifted directly from the Green Day wiki, okay? So this is directly from their website. It is about a place where the narrator of this song would escape from his bothersome life and basically just relax and forget all his problems. Now, interestingly, this song actually refers to a real location in Martinez, California, where the actual band members, Billy and Mike, would do what the narrator does, where they would get high and just relax and forget about the problems in life, alright? So, the rhythm is simple, yet it's catchy enough to make you want to listen to it more, over and over again. And let's go ahead and talk about the masterful transition in the middle of the song, coming after the second chorus, alright? So, the song speeds up to becoming more aggressive towards the end, which some people pointed out the similarities to Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. Now, whether that was a ripoff or not doesn't really matter, because it's still different enough to just say that they were inspired of it. Assuming whichever one came first, alright? So, if this song, they were released the same year anyway, so I guess you could just say that this is a common riff. So, it definitely works well with Christy Road, okay, in terms of the transitioning. It comes from a kind of a sentimental type of vibe to a more aggressive punk rock type of vibe in the second half. So, let's go in and talk about that. This song is simple, but great enough to linger in your head for a while. Now, I can definitely go on and on about underrated songs from the Kerplunk album in general. Like, let's see, One of My Lies, even Android or 80. But let's save those underrated songs for another video, okay? So that we can probably save those for part 3. So Christy Road is the 4th track of the Kerplunk album, and it's definitely worth a listen. It's also easy to play on guitar for the guitar players out there, so definitely add that to your list as well, for your set list, I guess, if you want to do covers from this band. So let's go ahead and move to What's Her Name. So, American Idiot. So, this may be a little strange. Now, why would I mention What's Her Name? Because American Idiot is the 7th album of Green Day, and it's also one of their most popular albums. It's sold more than like 16 million copies worldwide, so why would I include What's Her Name on this? Well, let's just say that this song was unfortunately not released as a single, and as a result of Homecoming as well, it is also overlooked many times, because I'm sure like this is a similar problem to Prosthetic Head, where if you remember I mentioned Prosthetic Head in part 1 of the video, where people kind of see Good Riddance Time of Your Life as the ending of Nimrod sometimes, and they might overlook Prosthetic Head as simply a filler. So I guess the same logic applies here to What's Her Name, where this song gets overlooked, but it should not be, because this is actually a better album closer, where it actually wraps up the storyline of American Idiot in such a sentimental way that even Billy Joe Armstrong himself got emotional after Mike Dirnt finished up his bass parts of the song. Now this moment that I'm referring to, it can be seen in the Heart Like a Hand Grenade documentary that was released sometime in 2015. So if there's a clip of it somewhere, you can definitely take a look and you should see what I'm talking about, alright? So, What's Her Name kind of feels like the epilogue to this. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So, even taking all that into account, just like Prosthetic Head of Nimrod, it can feel like an epilogue. So while we can consider Homecoming as the finale of this song, so to say, the vibe and tone of the What's Her Name song can definitely be considered the epilogue. And this is also reflected in Billy Joe Armstrong's lyrics, where he would say something like, "Forgetting you but not that time," referring to the What's Her Name, the woman herself, where he forgets her name, and also not forgetting her in general. So that can definitely wrap up the American Idiot album storyline in a satisfying manner. So this lyrics that I'm referring to is in the last section of the song, right before it goes right back to Mike Dirnt's bass line. And it's definitely one of the best Green Day songs that should get more recognition, alright? So the instrumentals are on point, Billy's vocals are on point, the lyrics are on point, and it is a perfect epilogue to the album after the epic finale of Homecoming, where it delivers a grand feeling, okay? So what's her name? Definitely add that to your playlist. And now here we are for the final song of the video, Church on Sunday. Now this is quite funny because here we revisit an underrated album in general. Warning was released in October 2000 and has divided Green Day fans over the years as to whether this album has been underrated or properly rated as it is. Now whatever your opinions are about this album, I'm sure most of you can agree, I'm assuming you've heard this song already, most of you can agree that Church on Sunday is definitely a big standout of the album. Now this song can mean different things to different listeners, whether they mean an actual church or not, but according to plenty sources out there, this is simply about Billie Joe Armstrong's relationship with Adrienne at the time, and how they had to make compromises in order for their relationship to last. The song itself is catchy, Trey Cool as usual shines in terms of the drumming, and Billie Joe's vocals in the song are good enough to be memorable. Now Church on Sunday is the third track of the Warning album, and one of the other things I will give credit on is, in regards to not just the song, but the album in general, is how well each songs are ordered in regarding to transitioning between one another. So, that's a lot about Warning I've talked about. In terms of the actual song, there is a time around the 2-minute 50 mark where the chorus kind of changes in rhythm, but don't worry about that. It's simply adding to the magic of the song. It's intentional, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Most people have thought that it was an error in the audio, in the CD or whatever recording, but it is not, alright? So let me put that out there. So Church on Sunday, the third track of Warning, definitely a worthwhile listen, and while Billie Joe's vocals are not really like, I know that he's sung higher usually, but the way he does it in this song, the way he executes it, it's like good enough where it sticks in your head for a while, and it makes you want to come back to listen to it more. So Church on Sunday definitely deserves recognition, alright? So let's go ahead and wrap up part 2. So this wraps up the second part of Green Day's most underrated songs, and I will release part 3 sometime in June, and hopefully some of these songs get more attention over the years, the ones I just mentioned in this video. Now if there are any other songs that I hadn't mentioned yet that you might want for part 3, definitely feel free to comment down below, and I will definitely add that to my list of songs to talk about and make a video about. And also leave a like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Raphael out. So this is Green Day's Underrated Songs Part 2.